Hey everybody, how you doing? Dave Batchelor here. Yes, it is I, Dave, your humble bass slave. But you can call me Tex. Why Tex? And you know what? Long story. Maybe another time. What you've just seen is Pop Cherry. That's the band that I've had the privilege and honor and pleasure to be part of for the past 4 years or so. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is. Joey Verone, the founder of the band, front man, he spent many years building this band, building this brand. And I'm proud to say that Pop Cherry is one of the more well-known bands in the GTA. The band's got a following, it's got a fan base, and it's a lot of fun when you go out to do shows and people come out to see your show and they're right into it. They're out there singing your songs and just joining in the party, and they just make you feel really appreciated for what you do. And because as many of you know, as a working musician, it's a lot of work. And when you've gotten to the point where you actually have people coming out to follow you around and see your show, well, you know what, you're doing something right. So anyway, what I'm going to be doing over the next little while is putting out a series of videos on YouTube on the Pop Cherry video page, which I invite you all to subscribe to and to join us for some fun, if I could talk. Yeah, and I'm going to be talking about all things music related and how it relates to myself being in a band such as Pop Cherry. I'm talking about gear and guitars, as I seem to have a few. Yeah, and just throwing some information out there, hoping that maybe I can share some stuff that would help somebody else. You know what? I've learned a lot of things over these past years. You know, I go online, I review gear, I watch videos, other guys, and people, you know, sharing their experiences and advice and all this kind of stuff. And it's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. So I guess this is just my way of wanting to give it back, because I've started to gain a number of my own experiences and doing all this kind of stuff. And I'd like to share. Maybe it'll make a difference for somebody somewhere. Anyway, so today I actually wanted to share something with you in regards to a term that I heard a few years back. It's called dressing for the gig. Very interesting term. And sure, when I initially heard it, I thought, you know, okay, so you're talking about getting dressed up for the show and going out there, make a good impression. Well, okay, that's a small part of it. But really, that term, it's a very broad scope of things that fall under that term. It's something that I'm not sure enough people really give a thought to. But I've come to realize the significance of what it means to dress for the gig, and it is very key if your intention is to become a successful band. If you're really serious about wanting to do this and do it to the best of your abilities, then yeah, preparation is really the key. And to dress for something is to prepare for something. So with that said, you know, there are a lot of key factors when we talk about, you know, dressing. I mean, first of all, you have to determine what kind of band you want to be, what genre, what style, that sort of thing. So, again, relating to Pop Cherry, I'm going to talk about a rock band. Okay, so you want to be a rock band. Yeah, then you got to figure out how many members, 3, 4, 5, and so on. You got to find that fit. Pop Cherry's a 4-piece band, and we enjoy it. We like it. You know, it can be a little extra work, because the fewer the instruments, the harder you have to work at filling the sound up. So okay, so a 4-piece band. Then you determine what songs you want to play. You know, You can do classic rock, you can do hard rock, you can do heavy metal, that sort of thing. And then there's the whole question of original material. Okay, well, Pop Cherry is essentially a classic rock, hard rock band. We do a lot of stuff. The Stones, Doors, Aerosmith, The Cult, and of course you got to have Elvis in there, and a few other things. And of course we have our original songs too. We all really like the idea of being an original band, which adds a whole other spin to to building the band successfully. Because when you decide to be an original band, again, things you have to consider. Who's going to write the material? Is it going to be everyone in the band going to write together, or is it just going to be two people? Who's going to do the lyrics? Who's going to do the music? All these things come into play. So again, in Pop Cherry, we prefer to write together as a band. Everyone contributes, and that's a really cool thing because that gives you a sense of ownership. And when you have ownership in something, that just makes you want to work harder and make it the best it can be. And that's the whole point, isn't it? I mean, to be the best musician you're capable of being, whatever that ends up being. Basically your best is left up to the interpretation of the people who watch you. They'll determine how good or bad you are. They're your biggest critics. But as long as you're bringing your best game all the time, and that's your end game, your goal is to be the best you can, you'll be all right. And if everybody in the band shares that same sentiment, it'll go well. It really will. You have to take into account personalities. You got to have a group of people that get along. They do all have the same goal in mind. They all have the same passion, the same work ethic. They're all into the same kind of music that the band is playing. When they write, how they write, it makes sense for the band. Everybody sort of writes in that similar vein, so you come up with songs that sound really cohesive and together. These are all things that are part of the whole dressing for the gig. These are the elements that are going to turn you into a very successful band that will go out and do the job very well. So once you've figured out all that stuff, then the next step is to rehearse. You figure out what songs you're going to do and start rehearsing them. And you have to rehearse as a band. You have to rehearse as much as you can. Really work on it. Work on the little nuances and the cues and the stops and the goes and the timings, and do it together. One of the most magical things about being a successful band is being a band that is, you're all glued together. There's a cohesiveness there. So when people come out to watch you play, they're really going to be entertained. They're going to pick up on that vibe that you're putting out there, that you just love being up there with these other people playing the music, and you're all just having a great time. Well, people will pick up on that, and they'll give you their vibe right back. And next thing you know, you just got this magic going on. So again, that's very key. It's all part of it, because when you really come down to it, being in a successful professional band, be it full-time or part-time, it really does come down to responsibility. That it's a very key word, because everyone is responsible for their own part. They're responsible to be there to support their fellow bandmates and what they have to do. And the biggest thing is being responsible to the people that come to see you. Because you got to realize, when people take time out of their lives to come out and spend money and spend an evening or an afternoon with you, you're responsible to entertain them to the best of your ability. That's how you keep them coming back, and that's how the word spreads, and that's how you get more people to come out and see you. When people are assured of going out and watching your band and knowing that they're going to have a great time, they will keep coming back, and they'll tell other people, and next thing you know, I mean, when we go out to our shows, we play our original songs, and I see people out there singing along with us with our original stuff, and that's really cool, because that just tells me that the stuff we've done, they accept it, they like it, they enjoy it, and that's the whole point, you know. I mean, it's not really your plan to go out and suck. It's your plan to go out and just be good at what you do. So, I mean, it's just logical. It just makes sense. So, you know, these are all the things. Again, dressing for the gig. So you had to be disciplined, and you got to have structure. You got to have structure. You know, you can go out and see some bands. They'll be up there, they're playing, and maybe, you know, they're kind of loosey-goosey, or they're falling around, and maybe they're not quite getting it so good, and they don't really care. They're just, who cares? It's just, you know, it's just a gig, it's just music, it doesn't matter. Hey, listen, that's fine. That's fine. If that's where you're at and you're just out to have some fun like that, kick around, play some music, no problem. Power to you. But if it's in your mind that you really want to get to that next level, you know, you had to take it seriously. You can still have a lot of fun, but you got to be serious at the same time. You got to have drive, you got to have ambition, and yeah, you got to know how to have structure within the band. So, and these are the things you work on. These are the things you fine tune when you rehearse, when you get together. And also when you're on your own, when you're away from the band, you constantly have to be practicing, preparing. When you go to rehearsal, you should be thinking of it as going to a show. You got to have that mentality. And then that will translate when you actually do go to a live gig. These are all very important factors. So if you have a group of people who have come together and they all share these same traits, you're going to be very successful. Another key thing to a successful band is, you know, the band stays together. If you can manage to get a band, you know, not having one of these turnkey things where, you know, there's somebody leaving every 6 months, well, you're never going to have that solid cohesion. So if you can create an environment that that's very inviting and very supportive, people will be encouraged to stay, and it'll just build from there. You know, it's there are people out there that just like to do freelance, and that's fine. Work for hire. You know, just go from band to band. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's the thing that works for you, go ahead. You still have to do your homework though, if you want to keep getting hired. So even working on that level, you still got to dress for the gig. You got to have it in your head exactly what you need to do to support the people that are hiring you. But in a full-time band, it's that and much more. And of course, yes, let's talk about dress itself. You want to show up at the gig looking like you want to be there. You do, because people will pick up on that too. If by any chance, you know, if you're looking like, look, I just want to play the show, get paid, go home, get some sleep, and I'll come back another day. If that's the way you roll, people will pick up on that. If you don't take the time and the effort to put something into that look, that image, people will pick up on that too. They'll get this impression that, you know, you don't really care, and you know that can drive people away. So it's an important thing, and it gets overlooked because you get your head into the fact that I have to go out and I have to play really well so I can entertain. I get that, you know, but still you gotta find time to also take a good look at yourself too. You know, look in the mirror and go, do I really want to go out looking like this? Or do I want to go out and have a bit of a look going that people are going to go, yeah, you know what, that guy's a pro. That guy really likes to be here. He's having fun. He's taking this seriously. A lot of people appreciate that. In Pop Cherry, it's a very important thing for us because part of the band's success has been the image it projects. And when you go out and do a show and you show up and you're looking like, hey, this is showtime and we're here to give you our best, people pick up on that right away, and they're drawn to that. When, as I said earlier, when it looks like you're having fun, people love that. They do. And, there's another saying, dress the part, be the part. Act the part, be the part. Well, you know what? You want to go out there and be a rock musician? Dress like a rock musician. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, for God's sake. I mean, look at some of the biggest rock stars out there. I mean, part of their thing was their image, and they put a lot of time into it. Well, it's important to us, at least in this band. If that's not the way you roll, that's fine too. But all I'm saying is, if you really want to dress for the gig and you want to bring your all, just be conscious, be aware of, it doesn't just stop with the instruments and the music and the gear. It's a full package. So you got to think about your image too. So, but hey, at the end of the day, everybody does what they want to do, and no harm, no foul. We just have to be prepared to accept the consequences, good or bad. Anyway, you know what? I probably said enough. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Listen, all this stuff I've been talking about, this is just stuff that I've picked up over the years talking to other players. I've had the privilege to meet some pretty big A-list guys and girls out there, very successful. And it's really cool when you meet people of that caliber, because they basically have nothing left to prove. They've done very well for themselves. They're very happy to be doing what they do. They're very grateful to be able to still do what they do. And you know what? Now that I think of it, that is another part of dressing for the gig, is your attitude. Stay grounded, stay humble, show humility. Remember where you came from, because we all started at the same level. None of us came out of the womb with all this instant talent. It took time to bring that out. So never forget that. And always remember too that, no matter how good we think we are, there's somebody else out there who's way better. And there's somebody else out who's way better than them. It's just, it's the cycle of life. So you know what? Just be grateful that you can do this. Go out and have fun. And just embrace it for what it is. Have a really good time, and just see it for what it is, and you'll be fine, I think. Okay, I'm starting to lose it. It's getting late. All right, listen, I gotta run. You know what? I should practice what I preach. I should get to work, do some practicing too, because we got some shows coming up that I gotta get ready for. So I think I have to go get dressed, if you know what I mean. Oh, speaking of, you like the shirt, Pop Cherry? You like these? Hey, pretty cool. Hey, if you're interested in these, we can hook you up. Just get in touch with us. Let us know what size you're into, and we can help you out on that. So yeah, listen. Tune in to our YouTube page, Pop Cherry. Check us out. Our website, popcherry.ca. You find us on Facebook. Connect with us. Be our friend. You can get information on our shows. We got videos that we try and pop out there every now and then, such as this one. And don't be shy. You know what? We love doing this. We love meeting the people. So, get in touch and come on out to our shows. Look up, see when we're playing next, and come on out if you can. And when you come out, come on up and say hi, because hey, we're just people. We're approachable, so we're all just people. We're all stuck on this rock together, so let's just make the most of it. Okay, that's it for now. I got a book. I'll see you again real soon. Okay? Peace, everybody. Rock and roll, and you take care. Bye now.